my name is Sam, and thanks for checking out this video. I don't know why I'm singing this morning. No, I do. It's because it's a weekend, and I can film, and there's actually sunnish, kind of, outside. Well, for northern Canada, it's sunnish. I'm also in a very sing-songy voice, because I actually read, like, 4, really good books this week. One was a reread, so I knew it was gonna be good. It was Third J Maths. But I read 3 books that I've never read before, and oh my god! It was the week of 5 stars and being so shooketh. Between them being, like, such good books, and, like, BTS invading Canada for, like, a hot 24 hours, and then Veronica Mars getting their official revival, I legit can't function after this week. I also, if you're someone who normally watches my vlogs, I uploaded my vlog from the past, 3 weeks on Friday. So it's there for you when you have, I don't know, probably 40 minutes to spare. It was 3 weeks worth of stuff, so hopefully I'll be back-ish on track. Maybe next weekend I can be, kind of back to normal-ish. We'll see. But nonetheless, let me talk to you about these books that got me just thoroughly shooketh. So the first book that I've devoured and adored this week, and despite all the other books being amazing, was probably still my favorite this week, was These Rebel Waves by Sarah Rash. I feel like I've messed up that saying several times in several videos. Forewarning, because I talked to people afterwards, and they're like, I didn't even bother finishing it, and I was like, what? What is wrong with you? I am obsessed with Snow Like Ashes. It's one of my favorite trilogies, which is her other work. She writes stuff that's got lots of politics in it, and so if you're not someone who likes that, then maybe not. However, there was very deceptive marketing of this book, I will fully admit. However, this is a book where I was like, I just don't even care. I've been so surprised in the last few weeks by books that were supposed to have pirates, or books that weren't supposed to have pirates and then had pirates. It's been very weird. So I was just like, I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm just gonna go in and see what Sarah Rash does to me. And girl, she shook at me. It was marketed as gay pirates, okay? It's not. So don't go into it assuming that it is. There is one gay relationship, and it's a side one, and it doesn't end well. And, well, it doesn't go well in this book, shall we say. There's lots of politics and drama and everything like that. And there are some pirates, but that's really not the focus. There's some pirating and some sailing, but it's not really pirates. Okay, I'm going to try and be as succinct as possible, but this is a very detailed, messed up whodunit fantasy thing. So there's kind of 3 main characters that you're going to follow. There's one girl who is the daughter of a sort of politician in this community that has an awful lot to do with another country in this world that shall remain nameless, that is heavily influenced by religion and war. And so she is trying to avoid another all-out war because there's almost kind of a potential genocide situation going to happen, and she wants to try and stop it. And then we have another character who's kind of your piratey character, but he's kind of lived all of his life selling stuff and smuggling stuff on the black market and being kind of just a douche to local politicians and policey forces. But I mean, we've established that those policey forces and politicians are not the greatest of people. I mean, they're talking about a genocide. And then there is, the potential heir to this throne, and he is being, what's the nice way of saying this? He is being confronted with a lot of the stances that his community has, and everything that they're potentially going to be doing if all-out war does break out. And there is a kidnapping, and a who the heck has done this, and whoever is doing it is doing this to start a war, we need to stop it sort of situation. And oh my god, the last third of this book is just reveal after reveal after reveal of things that I never even saw coming. Not even remotely was I wonder if. No, totally blindsided me. And I was so shooketh to my core, and then the next thing would happen, and it was just a wave that never ended. Maybe that's These Rebel Waves thing. But, dear Lord, I am so excited for the sequel. The title was announced. I think the date was announced, too, before I actually even read this book. I'm freaking obsessed with this book. If you're someone who has found that you have similar reading tastes to me, this is a good book for you. If you're someone who read Snow Like Ashes and enjoyed it, this is a good book for you. If you're someone looking for gay pirates, this is not the book for you. It may end up being to your personal taste, but it's not gay pirates. Okay, just saying. Yeah, so I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. I finished it and immediately wanted to reread it, okay? Then I read Catwoman's SoulStealer by Sarah J. Maas. This is the third book in the DC Icons series, and I actually was very curious about this one because Batman, or the second book in that series was Batman, but they're not technically books, like they're in the series, but they're not supposed to like technically overlap, I guess, like their characters and that kind of stuff. At first I thought they were supposed to, but then I guess I found out that they weren't. But this is Catwoman, and I freaking loved this book. Before I read this book, I didn't know that I was ever a Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy need to just get together shipping it because, dear Lord, 3/4 of the people in this book just need to get a room and just like stop eye-banging each other across the pages that I'm reading, okay? Just get it done. In traditional Sarah J. Maas style, she made me want everyone to bone each other, and I'm not a person who generally likes romance in a lot of her books, or I feel like it's overused, or authors use it very poorly. But I don't know what Sarah J. Maas does, but she does it well. So it follows our main character, who is this girl. She's like incredibly poor in Gotham City, and she's trying to take care of her sister, who is incredibly sick, and insurance is not covering it. It sounds an awful lot like the United States, to be totally honest, with healthcare. She eventually gets picked up by the police for a reason and is kind of taken into this elite assassins school through a series of circumstances, and then comes back to Gotham to get revenge, I guess, is the nicest, succinct way of putting it. And she meets, I think his name's Batwing in it. I keep wanting to call him Batman, but it's not Batman. It's like Bruce Wayne's friend, and Bruce Wayne's gone from town at the time. Like, I don't know if he's vacationing or whatever. But so she is pretending to be like this just like heiress in Gotham, spending money because she wants to. And then there's Batwing, who is like a normal teen, like he's a hidden superhero. And so she kind of recruits Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy to start stealing a bunch of stuff to wreak havoc and get back at the people who essentially screwed up Gotham so thoroughly for the poor. And it was really good. I thoroughly enjoyed this. I'm pretty sure I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. It's pretty. I also love that the main character's name is Selena, and I was like, wow, we didn't stray far from Throne of Glass here, did we? I loved all the characters, the romance, the tension, the banter. Oh, it was just so good. Oh, so good. And I read it in like, I think 6 hours or something like that. It was really good. And I'm really happy to end my like DC Icon series experience with this one, because I have explained before, but I won't be reading the 4th book. And I'm so excited that I have all these 3 books. My thing is, they're all so pretty, and they have like similar covers. So I'm like, should I put them all together on my bookshelf? But then they're different author last names, every single one of them. So like, but then they're going to be alphabetically out of order, and that's going to irk me too. I have to figure something out. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was a wonderful, like, dipping your toe into Sarah J. Maas while eagerly awaiting the release of Kingdom of Ash, which is like 1,000 pages, which at first I was like, dear Lord. But then I was like, dear Lord. So I'm trash for Maas, in case you haven't noticed. And along that same wavelength, I did a reread of Verifier, also by Sarah J. Maas. 3rd book in Throne of Glass, or is it no, this is the 3rd book in Throne of Glass, and it follows Selena, and she was kind of shipped off in Crown of Midnight, for reasons explained in Crown of Midnight, to this other community where magic is still alive and living, and she needs to kind of gain control and figure out what the heck is going on, because once again, kind of like these rebel waves, lots of politics, lots of potential war and doom, lots of dictatory people killing large mass groups of people for being alive. And yeah, I actually really liked that Selena, this one that we meet Rowan, or I think we technically meet Rowan. No, Rowan's technically this book first. I just like that we get to interact with this whole new characters and realm, and it's kind of the same development that we see of, you know, Selena with Kaol and Selena with Damien in the other books, but like she's very hard to begin with when she meets Kaol for obvious reasons, and then she's a little bit lesser when so she's kind of almost a normal functioning human being when she meets Rowan, and finally like kind of become like unravels and is able to trust someone and learn from them. So I really liked this book specifically, I think, out of all of them, because we do get to see just how different Selena was from the first one. And lastly, I read, very quickly, Dare You to Lie by Amber Lynn Tush. Oh my god. So, Veronica Mars was announced, it was announced by Kristen Bell this week that Veronica Mars is getting at least an 8-episode revival off of Hulu. And I was like, I hate Hulu because they don't do anything outside the United States. I'm hoping that they go on Netflix or, you know, everyone outside the United States has other ways of accessing information. It's called pirating. And then they're like, why do you guys pirate? And we're like, because you release things and pretend we don't exist. So I'm just hoping it goes on Netflix Canada at least. Dare You to Lie is basically Veronica Mars. So it follows our main character, full discretion. Her name is Kylene. I'm probably going to butcher that and just end up calling her Veronica. But her father was, she believes, falsely accused, arrested, and tried for the murder of a fellow FBI agent. And so he's in jail. And she moved back to live with her grandfather right now to finish her last, I think, 2 years of high school. She left this high school under bad circumstances, though, because someone took pictures of her without her consent and shared them around the school. And then she's being slut-shamed. You know how boys in high school tend to be anyways at this point, despite it being 2018. Yeah, despite the double standards and sexism, freaking loved this book. And so she's trying to both like simultaneously acquit her father as well as figure out who actually took the photos. And conveniently while she's doing that, all of the files from the police precinct go missing, and she's trying to reconnect with her friend, who is definitely her friend but is also the sheriff's son, who he's pretty sure his dad is dirty. And then she's trying to also prove herself to this other FBI agent who is her dad's partner's new partner, if that makes sense, because her dad's in jail now. And so he thinks that, you know, she's guilty, she's a spoiled brat, her dad killed, you know, his friend, whatever. So there's lots going on. I thoroughly enjoyed this book. If you like Veronica Mars, you're gonna like it. I don't like contemporaries. I still liked it. It's more of a mystery than anything else. If you like kind of high school-y drama stuff, this is a good one for you. I mean, it says for fans of Riverdale, and I've heard that saw it a few different places, that for fans of Veronica Mars and Riverdale. I've only seen season 1 of Riverdale, but I didn't pick up any of the Riverdale aspects of it. I didn't quite get that. If you've ever watched season 1 of Veronica Mars, you basically know the general plot of this. There's pretty much a Duncan, a Logan. I can't remember what his name is, but he's a cop that dates Veronica Mars very briefly in the show. It's Max Greenfield, who was on New Girl eventually. Can't remember what his name is, though. But I don't know. They end up, like, splitting, and then she uses him for, like, his police contacts. And then there's... yeah, all of Logan's douchey friends. There's those kinds of characters as well. I mean, there's just several different parts of season 1 that are incorporated into here, which I freaking loved. Like, it didn't seem much like a ripoff. It was just like, I want to pay homage to this thing that we all love and everyone seems to be a fandom of, yet somehow it was canceled after only like 3 seasons. And everyone kickstarted and funded a freaking movie, and we all got it. And I own that on DVD too. And yet, still, Kristen Bell is alive and not playing Veronica Mars. What is wrong with the world? But yeah, once again, 5 out of 5 stars. So freaking excited for the next book. I think it's going to be like another year until it comes out, which hurts my soul. But it's going to be 2019 is the year of the marshmallows. And now I just want to rewatch a bunch of Veronica Mars. And then I'll probably reread this again in a couple of months. And see if there were things I didn't pick up on the first time. And yeah, thoroughly enjoyed this. This book doesn't get enough talked about. I think it's because it's contemporary. But I would very highly recommend giving it a go. And it's not super big either. So you're not going to have to, you know, spend a week and a half reading it. It's a really good, quick mystery, suspense, thriller thing. Those are all the books that I read this week. Let me know in the comments section down below what you read this week. I would love to know. And if I've convinced you to read any of these, I would also love to know, because I need to talk to people about these Rebel Waves and Dare You to Lie. I legit need to know the answer. I got to the end of Dare You to Lie. I was like, I love this, but I legitimately have more questions than I did at the beginning of this book. And the beginning of this book, all the questions I had are still not answered. Like, what is happening? But that's exactly what the Veronica Mars show did. So I guess Amber Lynn Natish did a good job on that end. But yeah, so make sure to check the description box down below. I will link all of the books to their Goodreads pages, and I will link all of my social media. And the last thing is Amber Lynn Natish, the author of Dare You to Lie, is going to be in the TBR and Beyond group doing a live chat on Monday, I think. I'll have to double check. It's Monday or Tuesday, and the group is linked in my bio. So come join us, and yeah.